Welcome to the PVB Initiative, video for online exam preparation CBSE 12th Standard. Subject Physics. This video contains definitions for Chapter 1. Electric charge and electric field. Definitions provide easy opportunity to score marks because there is no subjectivity in the examiner's assessment on definitions. Either they are correct or incorrect. Besides, definitions does not depend on your expression and it is easy to memorize. Definitions will, in turn, also serve as building blocks of concepts of larger and complex theories. So, let's begin our study of definitions of this chapter. First slide. What is electric charge? The fundamental property due to which electric force acts is called electric charge. What is polarity of charge? The property which differentiates the two kinds of charges is called the polarity of charge. What is quantization of charge? The magnitude of all charges found in nature are in integral multiple of a fundamental charge. IQ is equal to N multiplied by E. This is known quantization of charges. Next slide. What is quarks? The proton and neutron consist of another fundamental particle known as quarks. Quarks are of two types. First, the quark possessing plus 2/3 E charges is called an up quark U. Second, the quark possessing minus 1/3 E charges is called as down quark D. The composition of proton is indicated as UUD and is shown by the following expression as shown here. Plus 2/3 plus 2/3 minus 1/3 equals 3/3 equals to plus 1. Times the composition of proton is indicated as UDD. Plus 2/3 minus 1/3 minus 1/3 equals 0/3 equals to 0. Next slide. What is conservation of electric charge? The algebraic sum of electric charges in an electrically isolated system always remains constant irrespective of any process taking place. What is induction of electric charge? If the charged body does not lose its own charge and without coming in physical contact with other object, it will induce opposite charge in that. This phenomenon is called induction of electric charge. Next slide. What is Coulomb's law? It is, the electric force between two stationary point charges is directly proportional to the product of their charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. What is superposition principle? This principle states that, when more than one Coulombian forces are acting on a charge, the resultant Coulombian force acting on it is equal to the vector sum of the individual force. Next slide. What is electric field? The force acting on a unit positive charge at a given point in an electric field of a point charge of a system of charges is called the electric field or intensity of electric field at that point. What is electric dipole? System of two equal and opposite charges, separated by a finite distance, is called an electric dipole. What is electric field line? An electric field line is a curve drawn in an electric field in such a way that the tangent to the curve at any point is in the direction of net electric field at that point. Next slide. Electric flux. The flux linked with any surface is the surface integration of the electric field over the given surface. State Gauss's law. Gauss's law: the total electric flux associated with any closed surface is equal to the ratio of the net electric charge enclosed by the surface to epsilon 0. Next slide. What is a conductor? Substance which allows electricity to pass through them easily are called conductors. Examples are metals, human, animal bodies and earth. What is an insulator? Substances which offer high resistance to passage of electricity through them are known as insulator. Example includes most of the non-metals like glass, porcelain, plastic, nylon, wood, etc. Next slide. What is earthing? The process of sharing the charges with the earth is called grounding or earthing. State the principle of conservation of charge. This principle states that the algebraic sum of electric charges in an electrically isolated system always remains constant irrespective of any process taking place. Next slide. What is quantization of charge? The magnitude of all charges found in nature are in integral multiple of a fundamental charge. That is Q equals N multiplied by E. This is known quantization of charges. State Coulomb's law. The electric force between two stationary point charges is directly proportional to the product of their charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 multiplied by modulus of Q1 and Q2 divided by R square. Here epsilon 0 is equal to permittivity of free space and equals 8.854 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 12 c square n power minus 1 and m power minus 2. Next slide. What is one Coulomb charge? When two charges placed at a distance of 1 m from each other of the same magnitude in vacuum experiences an electrical force of repulsion of magnitude 9 multiplied by 10 to the power 9 Newton. Define source charge. The charge which is producing the electric field is called a source charge. What is test charge? The charge which tests the effect of a source charge is called a test charge. Next slide. Define polar molecules. If the centers of negative charges and of positive charges of the molecules do not coincide with each other so they have a permanent electric dipole moment, even in the absence of an electric field, such molecules are called polar molecules. Define surface charge density. Surface charge density can be given by the number of charges per unit area. The formula of surface charge density is delta Q upon delta S. Next slide. Define volume charge density. Volume charge density can be given by the number of charges per unit volume. The formula of volume charge density is delta Q upon delta V. Define linear charge density. Linear charge density can be given by the number of charges per unit length. The formula of linear charge density is delta Q upon delta L. In this video we studied all the definitions of chapter 1 namely electric charge and electric field. As stated earlier, definitions provide easy opportunity to score marks because there is no subjectivity in the examiner's assessment on definitions. With this note, we end our chapter 1 definitions video. See you in the next video. Wish you happy studying and success in examination.